Let's take a live look outside. The sun, it's checking out for the day. It doesn't stick around very long at this time of year. Dark comes early. And with that, many people see the winter blues. So today we're bringing our 9 News parenting expert, Dr. Cheryl Ziegler, to talk with us about seasonal affective disorder. So I like that acronym of SAD.
Right.
But it's real, right?
It's real. This is real. So there's different types of depression. And this is a type of depression, and I want to talk about it because I think people might feel it, but they're going, I don't know, is this a coincidence or doesn't everybody feel this way? It's winter, there's not as much sunshine, but it really does have the same symptoms of depression, but what you notice is that it's seasonal, so it gets more intense or maybe even just comes on. Usually November, this is the month where it comes on, late fall, early winter, and it can go through the beginning of spring, but it's most intense in November, December, and January. Those are the 3 months where it's really intense.
We're talking about kids going to school for one thing, but you talk about going to work. There are some people who go to work in the dark and come home in the dark.
Yeah.
And that's
tough.
That's not normal. It doesn't feel normal.
No, it doesn't feel normal. And there's people who are more apt to get this. So if you already have a history of depression, if you have a history of mental illness in your family, or if you have bipolar disorder, you are more likely to experience the intensity of the lack of the sun. If you have low vitamin D deficiency, that's another risk factor.
Sure.
So you have these risk factors. You have the reality of the weather that you can't control. But I think it's really helpful for people to, first of all, be validated. Like, this probably isn't just in your head. If you are resonating.
Not just you.
Right, it's not just you, you're not making it up, you're not too sensitive or, because people get feedback like that, like, oh, well, it's winter, we all don't like it.
Yeah.
No, for some people, this is a really intense time of depression, and I hate for people to have to suffer when maybe there are things that can at least help, might not completely take it away, but can help.
And when you say that, do you recommend, talk to a professional right away, or do some people actually go on a form of medication during this time? Or
Yeah, right now there's sort of 3 known things that can be helpful. The first one is what we call phototherapy. And that is something you can actually just buy anywhere, like you can buy it on Amazon. And it's a light that you buy, almost like the size of a mirror, and you give yourself that light first thing in the morning. So that's an example of good light you can have. It's not very expensive, it's really quite effective, and you just have to add it to your morning routine. Can help reset your neurotransmitters and hormones and all the things that kind of make you feel dipped down. So that's the first thing I would recommend trying. The other things people can do, or they can go to either start therapy at this time or get more intense therapy during this time. And the third piece is medication. So some people go on what we call an SSRI or an antidepressant during this time. Either, again, they may always be on it, but they may increase. This is something they talk about with their doctor, or they might just do it for certain times of the year. So those are the 3 things that we know that can be helpful.
What about going to your winter home in New Zealand for a few months?
That's what I was.
That sounds lovely.
So it's funny because you talk about the way some people address other people who say they're suffering with it. And I think in your line of work especially, get over it is not really good advice.
No, or just saying like, oh, we all feel down in the winter,
Right.
or nobody likes not seeing the sun. It's like, again, think about the symptoms of depression. You have lack of interest in activities that you normally like. You are staying in bed more. You might be oversleeping. You get these carb cravings, so you're overeating. That might not feel good as well. You have lack of motivation. So it's not just you feel sad, even though the acronym is SAD. And I do want to say there's the winter blues that, yes, maybe more people can identify with. And then there's actually seasonal affective disorder, which is a type of depression.
That's important to know.
Those negative things feed on each other.
Pretty much everybody has at some point.
Yeah.
Right, but when someone's in a depression, we don't want to invalidate them by saying, oh yeah, we all feel that. So there really are 2 sort of distinct feelings. But either way, even if it's just the winter blues, if you can try one of those 3 things and it can be helpful, I think it's worth it.
Thanks, Dr. Ziegler.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.